Hi, good evening.
Evening.
Tell me the story of how you became an entrepreneur.
We were just restaurant goers. We love to eat. And one day, me and my husband, we just dreamed that, you know, it would be nice to have a restaurant where we could eat at, to have a date in a restaurant that we owned and we could dictate what food we wanted to eat, something like that. My husband's Italian, that's why it's an Italian restaurant. And the opportunity came along when somebody wanted to open here in Venice Grand Canal Mall. To make a long story short, we were the financiers and we're running it now.
Okay.
So that's why.
What worried you the most as you started the venture?
What, sorry?
What worried you the most as you started the venture?
That the fact that we were not restaurateurs in the first place. Actually, we knew nothing except restaurant operations from a customer's point of view. Basically, we didn't cook the food. We just hired chefs who knew how to cook the food that we wanted to serve. But we learned it along the way. We did like crash course on restaurateuring. We asked consultants to help us with coming up with systems for accounting, for how do you say, purchasing and recording spoilage and income, things like that.
Okay. What excited you the most about starting the venture?
Actually, any venture, even if you don't know anything about it, is exciting. Basically, the stress you can equate to excitement. It's like, oh my, I'm not a restaurateur. How am I going to handle guest complaints? Things like that. How am I going to avoid the guest complaints? How do we control the food? How do we make it authentic Italian? You go into a study like you're a new student all over again at the age of 40. You know what I mean? So it's exciting. And to see it working is also exciting for us.
Okay. What resources did you use to start, and where did they come from?
Resources. Basically, we have our savings. We have, I'm an actress from TV. I used to be, anyway. My husband is in a different business. He has works for a manning agency. We have our money to use as capital, so that's what we used for this one.
Okay. What moments do you remember the most?
Moments we remember the most. We always go back to the time when we opened, May 2016, when there were only 3 establishments open here in Venice Grand Canal, and there was just us and an empty mall, and we were kind of in the dark about whether it would work, and we would just speculate during empty hours, like what's gonna happen to this restaurant. We remember that. And then we also remember the first time that the restaurant was completely full. That was sometime September. One Saturday, I don't know, we just all arrived dressed for some reason. And then the restaurant was full. So even me and my husband, we were changing tablecloths, and we made so much money that day. We were so happy. We remember that. We remember the first Valentine's that we served people, and we had waiting lines. We had a queue waiting to come into the restaurant. We were so happy. That's the stuff we remember the most.
That's very nice. What helped you most along the way?
Faith, a little bit of faith that the food was good and that our service is great despite this mall. It's very difficult here in this mall because we're a fine dining restaurant, and this mall is turning out to be a little bit more casual than we thought. So that's an uphill climb for us to try to maintain the standard that we want despite not getting the market that we want here.
How do you describe yourself to others?
I'm a very practical person, let's say, and fair. We love our employees. I will say we because I'm the same. My husband is the same. We like our employees. We're very fair to them. We give them good salaries, and we like to treat people like people. We believe that a good business is good because the people love to work there.
Yeah, that's right. Last question. What advice do you have for me as a student of entrepreneurship?
Student entrepreneur. Student entrepreneur. If you have a little money to invest, be very smart about how you spend that money. And if you decide to open something, I think you have to be very particular and very meticulous about your brand. What you want to be, what kind of people you want to serve, what quality of food you're going to serve, and if you are going to be able to maintain it. And entrepreneur, we're talking about restaurant, right? I think one thing I learned here is location is key.
Yeah.
We're a little bit malas in that sense here, but it's okay. It's working. Location is key. Find the place to put up your business where your target market is. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so